Good evening, good evening. Thank you for stopping by Life and Giggles for another episode of Kitchen Closed. Tonight, I'm going to bring you up to speed. I'm going to bring myself up to speed too. So, you see the title, While Shopping, December 24th. You know what that is. A lot of you all's Christmas Eve. During that time, Biden was signing laws. There are 50 of them that he signed, but when you look on headlines, they're only highlighting 5. And people are running with it. Like there are only 5 laws that were signed. Don't we need to know about the other 45? Well, thank goodness you have Life and Giggles because we're going to look at each one and then on your own free time, take a look into them deeper. Type them in, punch it up, like the late Dick Gregory says. Punch it up and see what it's talking about, especially if it's something that sounds like it might affect you and your family. Let's see. Okay. Press release. Bill signed HR 663. On Monday, December 23rd, the president signed into law HR 6. This HR is House Resolution 663, the Native American Child Protection Act. H.R. 1097, the Everett Alvarez Jr. Congressional Gold Medal Act of 2023. H.R. 1607, which clarifies jurisdiction with respect to certain Bureau of Reclamation pumped storage development. H.R. 1727, the Chesapeake and Ohio Canal National Historical Park Commission Extension Act. Sound like something we need to look at. H.R. 2468, the Mountain View Corridor Completion Act. Mountain View Corridor Completion Act. That sounds interesting. H.R. 3254, the First Responder Access to Innovative Technologies Act. Innovative Technologies Act. For first responders. Interesting. H.R. 3324, which extends the authority to collect Shasta Trinity Marina fees through fiscal year 2029. H.R. 3797, the Paperwork Burden Reduction Act. They're trying to get rid of some paper, huh? H.R. 3801, the Employer Reporting Improvement Act. H.R. 4094, the Great Salt Lake Stewardship Act. Sounds interesting. H.R. 4385, The Drought Preparedness Act. We definitely need to look into the Drought Preparedness Act. What drought that do you know about? HR 4467. The Dishes Border Services Contracts Review Act. DHS, but we say dishes for that. HR 5301, the Eliminate Useless Reports Act of 2024. Eliminate Useless Reports Act. Useless report. What report would they call useless? And who gets to determine what's useless or useful? See, we need to look into these things. HR 5646, Stop Campus Hazing Act. Now, I'm for that, but are they going to follow it? That's why not that's why, but that's one of the factors that prevented me from pledging anything in undergrad or graduate school. I'm not going to go through that. Mm-mm. That would be a total disaster for everyone on that line. HR 5770, the Water Monitoring and Tracking Essential Resources Data Improvement Act. Water. HR 6826 designates the Visitor and Education Center at Fort McHenry National Historic Monument and Historic Shrine in Baltimore, Maryland, and the Paul S. Sarbanes Visitor and Education Center. So they'll run you down with all these words. HR 6829, the Cardiomyopathy Health Education, Awareness, and Research in AED Training Schools Act of 2024, or the Hearts Act of 2024. I would like to look into that, see what that is all about. HR 6843. This expands the boundaries of Atchafalaya National Heritage Area to include Lafourche Parish, Louisiana. They expanding territories around here. We need to look into that. HR 6960. Emergency Medical Services for Children Reauthorization Act of 2024. We need to look into that. What is that about? HR 7177, which amends Title 28, United States Code, to consolidate certain divisions in the Northern District of Alabama. HR 7213, the Autism Collaboration, Accountability, Research, Education, and Support Act of 2024, or the Autism Cares Act of 2024. Looking into autism to see the origination of this thing because, yes, many people have recently been diagnosed with autism. That is true. I have actually diagnosed many people with autism and sent for just a second opinion with the psychiatrist, and they have all been confirmed. So, yes. The HR 7332, the Utah State Parks Adjustment Act. Now, what do they need to adjust in the state parks? Got to look into that. HR 7524, the GSA Technology Accountability Act. HR 7872, the Colorado River Salinity Control Fix Act. Sounds interesting. H.R. 8219, the Lahana National Heritage Area Study Act. I think that's in Hawaii, sounds like. I can be wrong, but study. What are they studying? H.R. 8413, the Swanson and Hugh Butler Reservoirs Land Conveyances Act. H.R. 8663, the Detection Equipment and Technology Evaluation to Counter the Threat of Fentanyl and Xylazine Act of 2024, or the Detect Fentanyl and Xylazine Act of 2024. So they trying to get some technology out here, equipment that's going to help with this crisis of fentanyl and other drugs. HR 9566, Source Code Harmonization and Reuse in Information Technology Act, or the Share It Act. Hmm. Share It Act. Look that up. S59, Chance to Compete Act of 2024. That's something to look into, see what that's about. 223, which amends the Controlled Substances Act to fix a technical error in the definitions. 709, the Federal Agency Performance Act of 2024. 759, the Beagle Brigade Act of 2023. 932, the No Congressionally Obligated Recurring Revenue Used as Pensions to Incarcerated Officials Now Act, or the No Corruptions Act. They sure need that, huh? 1147, the Jenna Quinn Law. We need to look that up. 1351, the Stop Institutional Child Abuse Act. We need to look into that for sure. Now there's a lot of conversations about child abuse, child trafficking, and other things. So, looking into the Stop Institutional Child Abuse Act would behoove us so we could see what's happening and who's been held accountable, who's not, especially when it comes time for the politics that everyone loves to talk about for president, but not local, where it really matters. 2414, the Working Dog Health and Welfare Act of 2023. 2513, the Veterans Benefits Improvement Act of 2024. 3448, the Never Again Education Reauthorization Act of 2023. We need to look into that. 3791, the America's Conservation Enhancement Reauthorization Act. 3857, the Jamul Indian Village Land Transfer Act. Means who's transferring land and who is Jamul Indian Village? I'm going to look at that. 3938, which designates the community-based outpatient clinic of the Department of Veteran Affairs in Lynchburg, Virginia, as the private first-class Desmond T. Doss VA clinic. 3959, the Transportation Security Screening Modernization Act of 2024. 3998, the Federal Judiciary Stabilization Act of 2024. These are some tongue twisters, man. 4077, which designates the facility of the United States Postal Service located at 180 Stewart Street in San Francisco, California, as the Diane Feinstein Post Office. 4107, the Think Differently Transportation Act. I want to look into that. That sounds interesting. 4610, which amends Title 36 United States Code to designate the bald eagle as the national bird. I don't know why that sounds biblical, but I'm going to look into that as well. If you know, can you let me know in the comments, please? 4716, the Financial Management Risk Reduction Act. 5314, which designates the medical center of the Department of Veteran Affairs in Tulsa, Oklahoma, as the James Mountain Inhofe VA Medical Center. 5355, the National Advisory Council on Indian Education Improvement Act, or the NACI Improvement Act. That's what we have. Make sure you do your own due diligence and stay abreast of what's happening. These are the laws that were passed while people were shopping and getting ready for their tradition. Okay. I hope I was able to catch you up so you wouldn't have to go and find that deep down, because I had to really look for that. I know I could always go to whitehouse.gov, but even there, it's not on the front page. You have to look for it. And they're only talking about Biden signed 50 laws, but here are the five. Like, why are we only focused on these five? Like, why are we being led to believe that these are the five important ones? Let us read them for ourselves, provide all of the information, and let us decide what's important, what we want to look at, and how deep we want to go on each of those. So present all 50. If he signed 50, we want to see 50, not 5. Now they made me have to go look up the other 45. Such is life, right? Sometimes we just have to go the extra mile. Thank y'all for your attendance and checking out this video. I will see you around. Have a great one, and I will see you in what they deem next year. Bye.
Have a seat.